This center has a very wonderful reputation outside of Minneapolis, and I think that they were very brave to bring this show in. It's very personal work. It's organic. It is, I think, a little edgy, and the method that I'm using is crochet. It's a standard female craft that I've tried to understand and taken to a new level. People don't normally think of a women's craft as something that's become a significant work of art. They think of them as doilies, of shawls, of sweaters, but I've taken it out of that venue and put it into another venue, which is artwork, sculpture. My name is Leslie Ponce, and I am a fiber sculptor from Philadelphia. You start with a pattern, you start with a drawing, a sketch, and then you let the piece speak to you, and you have to follow what it's saying. The piece itself will say to you, I need to sit on the floor. I need to have handles. I need to be upright. Or there was a technical issue. Well, how am I going to suspend this so that it looks believable? And then you just say, oh, yeah, that is what it needs to be. Textiles beg to be touched. If I were the audience here and I were walking into this, I'd walk up to this and go, what does this feel like? But, you know, you're not supposed to do that. I use a lot of different materials and not all at the same time. I've used wire, I've used thread with wire, I've used iron and silk, a gorgeous silk yarn, and I've used jute and linen and pretty much anything that you could look at it and say, well, I could use that with a crochet hook. At the moment, I'm using a monofilament, which is just regular old fishing line. I'm touching it and I'm going, I could crochet with this. I think I could. So I started doing it, and to me, it's fabulous because it's so translucent. You can see through it, you can see what's inside of it. Not only because it's crocheted and it's open, but because the material itself just is translucent. But what I really, really love about the monofilament is the combination of the monofilament, which is such an ordinary, basic plastic, with, this is silk, the epitome of all that's rich and wonderful in the world. And so the combination of the rusted iron and the monofilament and the silk, for me, creates a really strong balance, visually and actually spiritually. These pieces are extremely heavy, and yet, if you look at them closely, there's a lot of very delicate work going on. So here I'm going from using this heavy iron to this kind of unforgiving wire, to the ruffle, to just the really delicate tatting. And it's really the way we all exist in the world. It's all there. Each one of these pieces is about the way the world works. For these pieces, there's a story of the first piece is the cactus in full bloom in the springtime. And it keeps going down to where now it's at the end, it's a seed pod. I have been trying through my work to really understand our world. And our world is a really big combination of so many things that are opposite each other. And to me, this is just the epitome of it. These are sculptures. I happen to use the crochet medium. Recently, over the last 5 to 10 years, museum curators, gallerists, art historians are all beginning to realize that there is a very, very fine line between the craft medium and fine arts, to the point where many, many times it just totally disappears. I happen to think that my work belongs right in the middle of that conversation. It bridges that gap. I think that's kind of exciting that this center has understood that, and they were not afraid to present to their public something that is totally outside the box as far as what someone would think of as traditional crochet.